You're not alone out there. It doesn't work. Of course, between the starting gate and the finish line, you're just by yourself. But besides, it takes good people who stick with you. Otherwise, no chance.
Bernhard Knauss, the defending Tour champion, the most successful pro skier in history. And there's no end in sight.
Well, I grew up here in Schladming, right on the ski mountain. Schladming is a small area. We had a house right up on the mountain, you know, halfway up at the Planai. So we also went to school with skis, and skiing was the first thing to do. There was nothing else, you know. We had to organize pretty much everything by ourselves as little kids already, which was good in the end because we found out how things work. But then, well, you grew up with small ski races in town, and then a little bit, you know, a little bit more international later on. But yeah, we made our way, my brother also. And again, it was not always easy to, you know, get organized with all the equipment and stuff. But somehow we made it, and yeah, we just loved skiing all the time.
Bernhard Knauss, the defending Tour champion, is the most successful pro skier in history, with 48 major race wins to his credit, and there's no end in sight.
I just want to ski perfect on the tour, and I'm sure I will try to win the World Championships again in Aspen.
Actually, it was, at the beginning, it was kind of easy because I made the move up to the World Cup team pretty fast. But then somehow I got stuck, you know, a lot of problems came up, injuries and stuff. And then it got very, very tough. And back then the Austrian ski team was very strong, you know, a lot of very talented athletes around, and it was very hard to get a spot in the race in the World Cup. And then I had this injury again and missed a full season, and that was it. You know, no chance to come back into the team again. So, and then I made probably my best move and bought a ticket to the US and joined the US Pro Tour back then, and that was probably the most important move for me. Being just by your own, with no coaches, no big organization, and just go your own way. I remember I picked up the best possible ski booth, and that was Nordica back then. I mean, it still is. And they really worked for me. And yeah, then I made my way to the US, and it worked from the beginning on. It was just like a dream, you know. The first race weekend in Heavenly Valley, I remember top 4 already, and I just couldn't believe it, you know. It was the best time of my life. Yeah, it looks like that. Skiing is always around me somehow. And then when I was done with racing, I got a job in the ski industry. I think it was in 2007. I joined the Technica group with Blizzard and later on with Nordica. And I'm running the race department there, take care about development and all that stuff. And it's fun, you know. I have a little bit of knowledge about racing. I know what it takes, and I know how Dominic Paris feels, you know, being on the start at Kitzbühel. So and this, yeah, I like my job, you know. I like being out there. I like being around with the athletes. It's every single weekend. It's a different situation. It's interesting, and yeah. Racing, it looks like, is in my DNA. Yeah, even if we don't have a big team, you need to have good people around you. You can't do everything by yourself. And we became friends in the meantime. It is Heinz Spitzer. We worked together in Germany already. And now he is with me, I think, 8-9 years now at Nordica. And we have a very good relationship, and he thinks the same way I think. And that makes things easy, you know. How do you say, if we go to a race weekend, I still have this, you know, being a little bit nervous, you know, it's excitement, and I think that's what it should be, you know. If this feeling is not there anymore, you're at the wrong place. And I mean, it's sometimes it's hard, you know, if you have an athlete who gets injured, like Tommy 2 years ago, and this year with Atrea, it's pretty hard also for me, you know, personally. And but that's what ski racing is all about, you know. It's glamour, it's success, but at the same time, it could be the other side. And yeah, sometimes it can be brutal, and sometimes celebration. That's what it is. Yeah, that's a good part of the whole story, I would say, because there are some people from Schladming visit me in Steamboat. I remember I had a race there, and they saw how the whole thing works. And they thought it would be a good idea to bring pro racing to Austria, to my hometown. And so they got organized. They organized all the money and the whole organization, and all of a sudden we had a race here in my hometown, and it was a big success from the beginning on. Pretty much every slalom racer on this planet likes this place and this race. It's probably the more important for them than doing a World Championships race or Olympic race. Schladming is, I think, the #1 place for a slalom. Less is more. If I work hard, I can make a living out of it. And it paid off, I would say. Go fast or go home.